What's going on, guys? This is Restless Corpse, and I'm addicted to Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. I really don't know what to say about it. I think that it might be ruining my life. It's alienating me from my friends. It's alienating me from events and things that I should be going to. But I can't stop. It's just really good. And I don't know when this addiction is gonna fix itself, to be honest. I just kind of want to say sorry to everyone that I've hurt with my addiction, which is probably everybody. I need help, maybe. But I mean, to be honest, I could probably quit anytime. I can quit anytime. Fuck it. I'll quit tonight. No, I won't. I'm supposed to be doing a show right now. Not really sure if I want to do it. I mean, not anything else to talk about. Final Fantasy. I've talked about the last 4 shows.
Hey, did you work on a top 5 for the show today? I mean, are you
What?
Are you about ready to go?
No, man. No, everything's cool.
Here,
Yeah.
I got you your beer. I got myself a drink set up here.
Yeah. Sit down. We're about to go live.
What's going on?
Nothing.
Hey,
No.
are you sure?
Yeah.
Looks like something's going on.
We're good. What's going on, guys? This is Restless Corpse,
And this is Providence.
and this is episode 16.
16 already.
And we took 1-2 weeks off once.
Yeah, something like that.
Been doing this for about 18 weeks now. Yeah.
We're almost. We can almost go out and. Well, at 16, we can have consensual sex. I'm saying with consenting partners, not us.
That was really weird. Yeah. So, not really sure what we're gonna talk about this show.
Wow, there's people all up in here. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys? What's going on? We're just hanging out. We're doing a show here. I'm drinking a hell of a cocktail here. It's just really working out better than I wanted it to. It's kind of an old fashioned, but I used honey instead of sugar. And
It's a hold fashion.
Yeah, and it's got lime seltzer water instead of a sweet. It's pretty tasty. I'm pretty pleased with it so far.
Word. All right.
You couple that with the allergy medication I'm taking, I'm gonna be really fucked up. Oh, you got a fly on your nose, man. What's up with that?
It's on the shit, bro.
Apparently. So yeah. Any news that you've been following or anything?
Well, I don't necessarily have any news, but I was at 42 last night.
Yeah, 42. Let's tell the audience a little bit about 42 because maybe they don't know anything about it.
Well, 42 Lounge is a video game themed bar.
Well, it's
in
more than
Milwaukee.
video game themed.
Well, I mean, it's like a nerd. They've got a lot of Doctor Who stuff, a lot of Star Wars stuff all over the walls.
Doctor Who?
Doctor Who.
Oh, Doctor Who.
God damn it.
That fly really wants a PC.
He's, I mean, can you blame him? But and they have nerdy and geeky events. I mean, it's a really cool bar. They got video game consoles set up all over the place that you can play. The drinks are all video game themed, or Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, things like that.
Whoever that is, they say that everyone used to go to Club Anything, but I still go to Club Anything.
I went there once.
It really works out really great because all these people are not there, and I'm oh, fucking awesome. I get less of a crowd, more like a time for me to drink properly and recreationally.
Right. Is the way you're supposed to do it.
Right.
And responsibly.
Always.
Okay. You sidetracked me here.
Sorry.
So I was talking to Juan.
Yeah.
Because he was there, and
Yeah.
Rob, and Johnny Diaz, and we started talking about the new consoles.
Really?
And the only reason I'm bringing this back up, because we haven't talked about the new consoles in a while, because there's really nothing else to report. What really blows me away is the fact that there's still a lot of people out there that don't know that Microsoft went belly up on all their stupid things and fixed them.
That's interesting.
So I constantly have to I tell them
So are you expecting a check from Microsoft at some point, perhaps?
Man, that'd be cool.
I know, right? I feel like we're really speaking on their behalf. I read an interesting article today about the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Ironically, we were
Xbox
talking to
One.
Juan about the Xbox One. And apparently, you know how on Xbox Live they incorporate that the reputation rating. You know,
Yeah.
when guys are being told,
Oh, I know.
be total fags and the games and stuff, and you gotta file a complaint on them and shit. See if maybe an admin's in there and they can bump them out of the game or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, even though they're going to be, I think, transferring over gamer score and that sort of thing for the Xbox One community, they're resetting everybody's reputation scores back to 0. Which means that, there's always been speculation.
You know what? That's good, because you remember back when we used to play Call of Duty 4?
And you got some bad reviews or what?
Yes, because remember, anytime someone team killed me and I thought it was
You
on
would chase
purpose,
them
I would
around and
spend the rest of the match team killing them.
You're kind of a dick.
I got voted down a lot doing that, so it's cool.
Who is that?
He's talking about 42. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that the resetting the reputation thing. They basically their whole PR spin on it is that they want to give people an opportunity to, after years of having bad juju on their backs.
Yeah, because that does have a stigma of
Right.
little teenagers.
There's always been
the only people on
speculation
Xbox
of
Live, blah, blah, blah.
there's always some speculation about what the actual effects of bad feedback were, whether it was sort of cueing you into poor lobbies or.
Well, no. When it first came out, the explanation was if you set to avoid a player, then it would try its hardest in matchmaking to never put you in a match with that person ever again.
Right. So if you got a bunch of avoid player feedback on you, then you would presumably have trouble getting lobbies.
Right. Or at least you would be lumped in with the lobbies with people that no one wants to play with.
The lobbies full of douchebags.
Yeah.
Man. I almost wish I had a profile with lots of negative feedback on it just so I could play against all those douchebags and be a douchebag too.
Well, if you don't avoid them, then you're going to be playing with them anyway.
I suppose that's fair. I don't know, man. Now, you're talking about 42, and I know from my personal experience that 42...
Somebody was supposed to maybe show up there last night. Didn't.
The point is that
just a friend of mine.
Yeah, he's probably a dick.
He is a dick.
It's funny to me that 42 is sort of it's doing well, I guess.
Yeah, it's doing really well.
That it's on the rise, while at the same time on the other side of the planet, a very similar business that I'm very
the one that they modeled it after.
Yeah, is sort of in troubles where they're going to be shutting down, and I'm talking about the Mana Bar in Melbourne. Obviously, the original Mana Bar in Brisbane is still going to be functioning, but they've had some issues with the neighborhood that they're in.
And that was started by Yahtzee, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Zero
Well, I don't know.
guy.
You can't say
or the group
started it.
Like he was with a couple other dudes.
It's he along with a group of a few other people started up this business based on the same formula that Mana Bar is using. But I think they're rather than doing like Mana Bar does with their across the board sort of geek culture. Mana Bar, or what 42 is doing across the board geek culture, whereas Mana Bar is very, very video game focused.
Right.
I was very lucky to get to go to Mana Bar in Melbourne when I was there. Who the fuck knows how long ago? Year and a half ago or something.
Something like that.
And it was fantastic. I mean, it was a small place, but they had a great drink menu. I had a mana potion. I had a health potion. I had a little bit of Gemma's Breath of Fire, which had like ginger root in it, and it was made with ginger beer. That was really, really good. We had my guy Tom and I love that Tom, really, really cool guy. We had a few Cloud Stripes, which it's a tequila based shot.
I wouldn't have drank that just on principle.
Fuck yeah, it was good though. I drank a lot of tequila when I was in Australia. But then we also had the Imp, which was Yahtzee's shot, which is some flavor of 42 Below vodka, which is a vodka from New Zealand, along with, I believe it's Black Sambuca. And it's a viciously horrible shot, is basically the way that it plays out. I guess the sort of myth behind it was that everybody else that was involved in the foundation of the business had an extensive background working in bars in one capacity or another. So everybody there had a pretty decent knowledge of liquors and recipes and that sort of thing,
Right.
so that they could put together really pleasing to the palate sort of shots and cocktails. Everyone except Yahtzee, who had never worked in a bar, never knew anything about drink recipes, and basically he decided that he would make his shot the two most disgusting things that he could find on the shelf and mix them together.
Well, look, man, nobody likes imps, so
right, that was
sense.
the goal. So it was a shot that was designed to be vile in its flavor palette and look disgusting, being that it's black sludge in a glass,
right.
and be fairly strong, which it is. But the sad news is that Manor Bar Melbourne is has had some problems with the location that they're in Fitzroy, with licensing, I believe, in terms of what their predetermined closing time would be. They have to close at midnight, which is, as they had said, kind of when they were really getting the most business in, because it's Melbourne and it's more of a late night crowd.
Right.
So they would be closing at midnight. People would come in around 11, and then they'd have to kick them all out, and they'd close. So they were losing a lot of the business, and they wanted to fight against that, and it just wasn't working out. So they weren't bringing in as much money as they needed to really keep it running. And they've said that their long-term hope is to reopen it in a different venue in Melbourne, but as it stands, they haven't found another venue yet, which it's pretty sad, because I adore the hell out of that place.
Right.
I mean, I've never seen such an impressive rack of consoles behind the bar. There was a PS3, a 360, and a Wii for each TV in the bar, from bar height to ceiling on shelves behind the bar. It was pretty impressive. And I don't know how they do it at 42, but they had basically a drink menu that was their menu of available games to play for each console at the time. So you can go to the bar and request.
And
games.
they because they use Xboxes, they download the free games every month so that you can play those, which is pretty cool.
Well, that's good.
I saw people playing Dead Rising 2 last night.
Well, at the end of the day, my hang up with the place, it will always be the same. It's like the night that when Doctor Who was still running, I think it was Doctor Who, maybe it was Game of Thrones. Either way, that it was the night that Paul came to me and he was like, "Hey, you got to come down to 42 and watch when they air the new episodes. It's the coolest thing ever." And I said, "Really? Why?" And he said, "Well, because they air the episode, and then all these people, they sit there completely silent and they watch the show, and they listen to every little detail. And then as soon as the commercial break hits, everybody gets all serious and they all talk about it to each other and come up with and throw out their theories about what's going on and where they think the story's going and how it's going to affect the characters." And I looked at him and I said, "Paul, that sounds literally like the worst fucking thing I've ever heard in my life." And that is actually a reason I will not go there during those fucking things, because yes, while I like these shows, the last thing I want to do is talk to all you fuckheads about them while I'm watching them.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't like commercial breaks.
Right.
So really, I mean, to me, it sounds like a lot of really annoying people sitting around being really annoying about shit that I don't want to talk to them about. I have yet to meet, other than you, I think, there's maybe 2 or 3 people other than you that I can actually talk to about Doctor Who and not want to slap them.
Because I don't get all fucking Whovian about it?
Exactly. We're totally live, bro.
We totally are live, bro.
We're live as hell. Bro.
Just a couple of potato chips sitting in this bag.
Yeah,
this
that's
thing.
right. Yeah, in this live bag.
All right, so why don't we Why don't we get to some games?
Oh man, I feel like there was some other good news that was going around.
I know that you said you only really had one thing to talk about, but I want you to talk about the latest Borderlands 2 thing too.
Oh yeah, I can talk about that as well. Oh, the Steam group sent you here. Yeah, I set that Steam group up. It's really. I'm glad that you showed up, man.
Is there an alert on Steam?
I did set a calendar event for the show.
Nice.
Wham! Because why the hell not, right?
Good call.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. There was something I was going to say, but I got totally fucking. Oh, in very exciting news from the most recent. Well, I don't know if it's the most recent, but from a Humble Bundle that was gifted to me a week or two ago.
You don't have to spend like $5 on those.
No, Gemma sent it to me.
I know, but I'm just saying, like,
I obtained a lot of really good games, which I was.
But you should donate a lot.
But I was very lazy about actually installing them, and I did something very special today.
You grew your first pube.
No, I did something special for you.
So you haven't grown your first pube yet?
No, for you I did this.
What?
I installed Battlefield 3 on my PC.
Oh, bad. But you don't have premium.
No, I don't have premium, but I got Battlefield 3.
You should get premium.
I have Battlefield 3 for PC.
Because I am down. I will put aside Final Fantasy XIV
Bullshit!
for at least an hour to get some videos.
Mm-hmm.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, so I set up Battlefield 3. And I'll tell you, if anybody knows, yeah, it had all the Dead Space games in it and shit. Except for the second one.
Dude,
it was weird.
The first Dead Space is unplayable on PC.
That's what I heard. The controls are completely broken.
I tried to play it. And it's not. They're not broken. It's just you move the mouse and like 3 seconds later it moves. It jumps. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that bundle was really good. It did have a lot of good stuff. I know Mirror's Edge was in it. Dead Space 3. I can't remember. Battlefield 3, Sims 3 with a bunch of packs.
I saw that Battlefield 3 was on the Humble Bundle,
yeah.
And I was gonna be like, "Hey, dude, pick that up."
Yeah, Gemma bought it for me. It's pretty good.
Nice.
Though I will say that someone who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody needs to fucking talk to these idiots at EA and explain to them that Origin is a stupid system to be using.
Yeah, well, Blizzard has the same thing, and Jared was always trying to get me to play StarCraft 2, and I was like, well, I'll tell you what, when there's a Steam sale, I'll buy it. He's like, it's not on Steam. Not buying it.
Right.
I don't like that type of game enough to buy it.
Well, exactly. I feel like any company that is fighting to stay separate from Steam in that sort of context
is really stupid battle.
Is really shooting themselves in the foot. If you want to be a PC gaming company or whatever, using Steam as your overlay really seems to make sense.
I even I have Final Fantasy XIV linked to Steam.
I'll put the stupid thing is that any games that I have that aren't Steam games, I put links in my Steam library to fucking access them because I just want it all there.
You can do that with an Origin game, can't you?
I'm not sure because it has to fucking launch the Origin overlay to.
Because I have like Star Wars, The Old Republic, the Dead Space games now, and Battlefield 3 on Origin, and that's it.
I have like 6 or 9 games.
140 Steam games.
Right. That's right. That's exactly where I'm at. I even have like a GameFly account because I got BioShock for free.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay. Why haven't you been having games sent to you?
Oh, I don't know. Come on, I'm not that organized. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, so Battlefield 3 is on the horizon.
Good.
It's a little frustrating.
Have you tried it yet?
Yeah, and then I did something. I spawned twice on the fucking boat, and it took like, and I fucking cruised up to the shore, and got killed. And then I spawned, hopped in the boat, cruised up to the shore, got a little further, and then got killed. But then I must have hit a button somewhere, a key somewhere.
You can tell we're console gamers.
Right. I must have hit some key.
Before you continue, I want, because there's a lot of people in the chat right now that haven't been watching the show. He is not playing Battlefield 3 for the first time. We've been playing Battlefield 3 since it came out on the console.
It's true.
But a couple months, back in February, I bought Battlefield 3 for the PC, and I've been telling him to get it ever since.
Right, with the larger lobby sizes and shit like that.
It's a lot more fun.
I pressed some key that basically disabled everything I couldn't. My mouse pointer was cruising all over the screen.
I know exactly what you did.
What did I do?
There's a chat.
Yeah.
And you probably hit something to start the chat.
And I couldn't get out of it, yeah.
Yeah, you just have to escape.
I hit escape, but it wasn't doing it. Well, whatever. I got mad, and I force quit the game. Fucking
you rage quit because you pissed you off.
Yeah, I did exactly that.
Nice.
But I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be glorious. But other than that, like you mentioned, the Borderlands expansion thing came out this week.
Yes, get to that, because you told me that there was a new difficulty level.
There is a...
And Goody said that you were wrong.
It's a
Digistruct Peak.
Yeah. Which is higher level shit.
Right, but it's not like a super ultra voltage mode.
I'm sorry that they're intentionally vague about the way they talk about content for their fucking DLCs.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's a Digistruct challenge is what it is.
Freestyle scooter.
That's pretty good, man.
Man, I wish I still had my Dreamcast. I left it at the 94th and Adler House.
You left a lot of things a lot of places.
Well, that's what happens when you move around a lot.
I guess. So first off, I when I signed on, I logged in on my Krieg character, and I love Krieg. I just
you
see
and me
him,
both,
I was like, Krieg, and I had the cool head that I got from Geary, that looks like the John Horde leader from the Beastmaster.
Yeah,
it's got like a plane with like eyes and then like fucking bat wings sticking off of it. It's really, really sick. Really good looking head. But then I looked at my inventory, and I realized that all of the like Steam code heads that were released a week or two ago for Assault on Dragon Keep, I had entered all these Steam codes and redeemed them all, and then I logged into the game and they weren't there. Well, now they appeared there. So unique fucking like fantasy style heads for every character appeared in my inventory, which is pretty good. So now I have Krieg wearing like a helmet with horns on it.
I wish our Squire was here so I can get another beer.
Yeah, I know, right? I wonder if he could make me a cocktail. I don't trust that guy. So it adds another 11 levels, another 11 character levels, which obviously also means that you can get equipment up to level, 72.
Right.
So which means we're going to have to farm a whole lot more.
Good call.
You don't have a glass, you're going to drink it out of the bottle.
Well, there's only a couple shots left anyway.
Alright. We're going to have to farm some new gear, obviously, which could be fun. But as a whole, I mean,
smell that?
No. Would you fart?
No, it's you can't smell it because it's a man's drink, Jim.
Oh, right. Okay. I'm sure that's what. Whatever. And they kind of said that they have more story DLC planned for the next year, which makes me wonder: are you assholes working on Borderlands 3, or are you just going to continue to put out more? Look, my hard drive can only handle so much Borderlands content. Like, I realize that...
Right, they're doing are they doing Season 2?
Apparently, it looks like they might be. But, I mean, I look at, like, when I go through my hard drive for storage to try to clear things out, I look and I'm like, that's great, Battlefield 3, you're using, like, 20 gigs of my fucking hard drive. Way to go. Mass Effect 3, you're using 12 gigs of my hard drive.
Hair is amazing
Yeah,
tonight.
you got really, really terrible...
I'm just going to do one of these.
Okay. But, I don't need Borderlands 2 to use 20 gigs of hard drive space. Right. It would be nice if they could, give me a Borderlands 3 instead of blowing their wad on the Borderlands 2 DLC. But...
It's good DLC, though.
Far Cry 3. Look, man, I never played Far Cry 3.
But you played Blood Dragon.
I played the shit out of Blood Dragon because, well, who the fuck wouldn't?
Right.
Blood Dragon was top-notch. Top-notch. And they're making a full game out of Blood Dragon.
I know.
Which will be...
talked about it. No.
Maybe, at least middle-notch.
Like you think they might have blown their entire load?
I think that all of the awesome may have been spent.
Yeah.
We'll see. If Michael Bihn's down, I'm down.
Right.
If they can get, like, Michael Ironside to show up and do some voice acting, or get Bill Paxton to do a character. Like, if they can basically get every actor that was either in Terminator or Aliens, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. That's easy, no problem. Michael Ironside was in Terminator Salvation. I won't hold it against him.
Right.
He can get in, but then they can get Lance Henriksen too. And all these guys are doing voice acting now, so I mean, I figure that's not that far outside of the realm of
Half of the
possibility.
ones you mentioned were in Aliens Colonial Marines.
Bill Paxton was not.
That's a shame.
Maybe they can get Jeanette Goldstein to be Vasquez
Yeah.
or something. A Vasquez-ish character.
Right.
But, yeah, so, way to sidetrack the shit out of me again. I'm happy to spend another forever leveling my assassin up to level 72. I am still diligently working away at getting my Krieg up to level 72. Unlike our guy James, however, I have weird issues about just hopping into random game lobbies with random other
he
players.
doesn't.
Yeah,
I don't even like doing
he's
that.
a whore. He just hops around into whatever game he fucking wants. What I'm scared
He's going
of...
to get a disease.
He is. He probably already has one.
The grave save.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's my concern. Like, I'm going to hop into a game, some asshole's going to drop a bunch of modded weapons, and there goes my fucking game save.
Yeah.
Because that's the way shit works. So it gets a little tough. I mean, like I said, my Krieg is at like 30, and that's from like mostly soloing. I think I played one night with Gemma, with her 50-something Necromancer, and we leveled up a bunch. But I want a max level Krieg. I think that, you know, he's my guy.
He's everyone's guy.
He's my guy, though.
He's the guy.
All right, let's go with he's the guy.
Yeah.
He's the most bro of the bros.
All right.
But yeah, so another 11 levels, a bunch of new equipment, new legendary equipment as well, I believe is in there. They're talking about a bunch more skins and heads.
Hold on though. Is any of the new equipment any good compared to the stuff we already have that is game breaking?
I don't know. Everybody says you're the guy. I want to be the guy too.
Because if they don't have something that rivals the
you're
Sham,
just a kid. Maybe when you're older.
if they don't have anything that rivals the Sham, the Bee, and the Infinities, then I don't want it.
Well, they broke things like the conference call.
Yeah, but they broke that a long time ago. And all that did was make the game challenging again.
That's fine.
Because it wasn't with the conference call and Bee.
Right. And I know they nerfed the bee, but you know what?
It's still pretty badass.
Anyone who tells you that they nerfed the bee and it's not worth using is full of shit.
Right.
The bee is still one of the best shields in the game.
I mean,
it's no turtle shield, but it's pretty good.
I don't think they actually nerfed the Bee. They just nerfed the Bee conference call combo.
No, they nerfed the bee.
It didn't perform any different.
It changed the recharge delay time on all of them.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, it used to be like half a second. You're right.
He's making a fucking Wicker Man joke. That's amazing. Not the bees! No, what are you doing?
All right, so next game I want you to talk about, because I watched you finish it.
Oh! You wanted me to talk about Revengeance?
I do, because I know that you were struggling with it for a while.
I did struggle with it for a little while. And then we talked, I think, either on the show last week or post-show last week about the...
we talked about it on the show, how you were going to...
I don't know if you talked about the game-breaking Wiggle the Stick and Mash X.
I did not during the show, no.
Okay. Wiggle the Stick and Mash X for the parry.
Throughout the entire game?
Yeah, it makes a big difference, for one. Big fan of the fact that you get Jetstream Sam's sword at the end.
And how about the Jetstream Sam fight?
The Jetstream Sam fight, well...
You made it look...
I made it look way easy.
Because you had
apparently.
gear that I didn't... Look, I played the game first on hard.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got to Jetstream Sam, I only had one health item. And it was really tough.
Right, and you also...
And I did not have the Psy.
Right. Look, anybody who hasn't played Revengeance, here's what you need to know. As soon as you fight Monsoon and you get the Psy, my hair is more awesome than yours. What do you think?
Your hair is like Rob Thomas hair.
Man, I'd sing.
You should be singing with Carlos Santana right now. Forget about it.
When you
Circa
get
1999.
when you get the Psy from Monsoon, equip that shit. Buy it and equip that shit right away, and don't fucking bother getting anything else because it basically functions as a grappling hook. You
that
fucking,
pulls you to them.
Right, it pulls you to them rather than them to you. So
Which is important in the Jetstream Sam fight because he
One of
whoops
the-
your ass while you're trying to close the distance.
Right, one of the challenges of Jetstream Sam is closing the gap between the two of you. You watched me do this fight, and he got lost
did it
inside.
first try, yeah.
He got lost inside a rock at the end. I
Right.
didn't even see like the cutscene because I
Although you cut the shit out of that rock.
Dude, that fucking rock was not having a good day when I was done with it. It was actually not a rock anymore. It was a bunch of little rocks.
It was several pebbles.
Yeah. But the last boss fight was fucking annoying, no matter what, because they strip you of all your equipment anyway.
Right.
I relaunched the game on a New Game Plus and equipped the Jetstream sword. Holy balls.
Yeah.
Holy balls. Well, didn't you hear me screaming from the other room after I set it up? I went in and I got because you go through the prologue with your standard shit, and then when you get rebuilt and then you start the actual game, you get all your gear. So I equipped the sword right away, and you're on the beach and you go up those steps or whatever, and then you get to your first encounter with 3 soldiers.
Yeah.
I killed the 3 soldiers before the objective even popped up and said kill the enemy soldiers.
You know what's funny about that part is when I played the demo, I didn't know you could do the ninja run, up walls, and I cut the shit out of everything in that area, including the stairs. And then I was like, how the fuck am I supposed to get up here now? Yeah, good times.
So then I immediately, I had purchased both the Blade Wolf and Jetstream Sam DLCs for Revengeance. They were on sale 2 months ago or something for $5 each, so I bought those. I haven't started the Jetstream Sam one yet, which I want to. I'm excited about it. But I did start the Blade Wolf one, and I can tell you that it's really fucking hard.
Done.
It's a really difficult. Even if you've gotten good at the riding controls, the Blade Wolf stuff is a lot more difficult. It just lacks some of the fluid sort of finesse of the riding controls. It's a little clunky, and it basically, you're doing VR missions. It basically feels like a bunch of challenge maps.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you get into you're doing objective based stuff, but within the maps you find the VR mission computer consoles like you do in the regular game. But rather than saving them to your file and then you go play them later, it immediately drops you into that VR mission. So, doing time trials and avoiding enemies and shit like that, it's a little frustrating. I wanted it to. I guess the thing is that toward the end of Revengeance, I had gotten to be a little bit more proficient with the game, so I
watched you start the New Game Plus and you were tearing through it. So
right,
obviously you figured out what your problem was.
Yeah, I had gotten to be more proficient, so going into the Blade Wolf thing and being completely incompetent really was. I was nonplussed.
Nonplussed.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm still gonna finish it, and
Again.
I'm gonna finish it. No, I'm gonna finish the DLC, especially because I want to play the Jetstream Sam DLC, and I'm probably gonna do a lot of the fun stuff in the campaign with some better weapons.
Right.
I pre-ordered my copy of the game. I think I talked about this last week. I pre-ordered my copy of the game from GameStop just so that I could get the Cyborg Ninja skin and the Fox Blade, which is.
And you had to buy the Fox Blade.
You have to buy both.
Yeah, that's
the skin was cheap, but the Fox Blade is 200,000 fucking credits or whatever they are. I never had enough credits to buy the fucking thing. So someday, I'm gonna buy the Fox Blade, and I'm gonna put on the Cyborg Ninja skin.
All right.
And motherfucking Frank Yeager is gonna go to town.
All right. Now.
And he's gonna be all like.
Hurt me more.
Hurt me more. He's going to do all kinds of fun shit. It's going to be great. He won't do it.
He's not going to do any of that.
No, he's not. But I will while I'm playing as him.
All right, so remember me.
I remember you.
I'm right here.
Remember yesterday, walking hand in hand. No?
Love letters in the sand.
Sandcastles in the sand?
One of the two.
Yeah, so remember me. I was finishing Revengeance. I came into your room to ask about if you had bought a copy of BioShock Infinite.
Right, which I did, but I finished it so quick that I traded it in because I didn't see myself playing it. It was a great game, but
I might rent it on GameFly.
all right.
But I really wanted to play BioShock Infinite. I'd heard a lot of really good things about it. In fact, I don't think anyone I know who played it said anything bad about it.
Nick was.
Oh wait,
Nick fan of
Nick was like
some of the things. He liked the game, but he didn't like the ending.
I know. Pastic really liked it.
Joe really
liked it.
Joe says it's the best one.
Which, that's impressive to me. I'm a little bit skeptical because I liked BioShock a lot because it had a lot of. It felt to me like it had a lot of survival horror elements to it. Like there was a lot of like tense, like scary shit to it.
That was the argument I made with Joe. Is why I like Rapture better than Columbia.
Oh, because Columbia is like on the rise at that point, right?
Well, in BioShock 1 and 2, you come to Rapture after everything's already happened.
Right.
So, like you said, it's kind of like spooky and survival horror-y, I suppose.
Not as spooky or survival horror-y in the second, though.
Right, because you already kind of know what's going on.
Right.
But in Infinite, in Columbia, you show up before anything's happened, and then you cause things to happen. So the whole place goes to shit because of the shit that you're doing.
Look, the problem,
and if they're going to do another game in that, then it might go back to that way, like it'll be an aftermath. But
my hang-up with this is that, the first game was an amazing game. And
yeah, it
really,
was.
A lot of people really, really loved it. I thought it was great. I played it way after it came out. But it was a great game because it incorporated those elements of what the fuck is the game engine that it's using?
It's Unreal, isn't it?
The Unreal Engine for FPS, which there are certain things that I really don't like about FPS built on the Unreal Engine.
As a matter of fact, I think BioShock's the only game that I like that's an FPS built on the Unreal Engine.
Because it does that, like, you feel like you're floating.
Yeah.
It's weird, like, fisheye lens feeling.
Right, it doesn't feel natural. Like, the Havoc engine's where it's at for FPS, in my opinion, anyway. Unreal is great for, like, RPGs and things like that.
For a game using the Unreal Engine, it really impressed me, and but there wasn't anything, like, revolutionary about the actual gameplay. Like, it was, it's an FPS. Oh, I got a fucking drill. Oh, I got a wrench. You didn't have the drill in the first one. You had the wrench, right?
The wrench, and it was the god weapon.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're doing, like, all the fucking plasmids to boost your wrench thing.
And the tonics and whatnot, yeah.
So that was cool. But really what sold the game was that it was scary as hell. Like, there were points in the game that I was, like, a little bit apprehensive about going into the next area because you'd go through, and as you know, like, I don't get freaked out by games, but I can get a little scared, and I do this thing where if I'm playing a game and I'm scared, like, I make excuses to not be playing. Like,
yeah.
Oh man, I gotta, go. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true, I suppose.
No, I have those moments where I'm like when I was playing the first Dead Space, where I'd be playing and playing and playing, and I'd finish a chapter and be like, oh, look at the time, like I gotta go to bed watching some kind of upbeat, happy cartoon or something that keeps my mind off of what I just was going through. But there were moments like that in the first BioShock where I would be afraid to move into the next area because of just how dark it was.
And what's really cool about you saying that is BioShock, like, innately wasn't a scary game.
Right.
But it had that quality to it.
It created tension.
Right.
Palpable tension, which I think a lot of games struggle to accomplish. So when you got to BioShock 2, like you said, you're more familiar with the world, and you're a big daddy, so that, like, makes you a little bit more
the weakest
like
big daddy ever.
Yeah, but it makes you feel a little more confident. You have your drill, and again, you just put all your shit into the drill.
Yeah.
Not your shit into the drill.
I mean, you could.
Weird,
you could drill some shit.
easily. Yeah, but you know, and they were, oh, you're gonna be able to dual wield plasmids and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, all you people that think that the fucking, it's personal preference. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I gotta be less abrasive about these kinds of things. But I just don't understand the huge like throbbing erection about like dual wielding spells. They incorporated it into fucking Skyrim too, and I just don't think it matters.
Yeah, I never. The only time I dual wielded spells was when I was trying to level them up.
Right. Right. Let's get to the shot. All right. Yeah. Oh, scary ass shit. Absolutely. Fucking scary fucking Bioshock shit. I'm sorry, reading chat stuff.
No, yeah, that's right. I get you.
And I
It's
don't
funny
think,
that sometimes I try to read it right there and I can't see it.
it's all like blurry and shit on that one, but over there it's pretty good. Yeah, and Bioshock 2 just didn't really have any of those moments. It didn't scare the crap out of me.
Yeah.
And much the same. Well, you know,
Infinite will not scare the crap out of you.
well,
at
that's
all.
fine. That's fine. But you know,
It's not that kind
maybe
of
it's the same problem that like Resident Evil or Dead Space has. You know, the more familiar you become with the things in the game, the less there is a horror element to it.
Right.
And in response to that, the game developer, you know, compensates by putting more action into it. So games go from being survival horror to being action games, like Resident Evil did over mostly between 4 and 6.
Well, 4 was like the start.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. 4 is one of the greatest Resident Evils ever made, but it was
One of the
start.
best games ever made. It's a fantastic game.
Right, but it was the start of the decline of Resident Evil. Because after that game, if they had went back to the old style, nobody would like it.
Right.
So they had to keep moving forward, and now they've moved into like a corner.
Yeah.
So they need a reboot.
Well, they were supposed to reboot before 6, but then they did 6 instead. The point is, yeah, whatever.
You've already picked the fight with Shinji Mikami. You might as well shit talk his shit.
No, what did I pick? Oh, I'm going to launch a new game property. That's exactly the same fucking game property.
But
with a different name.
It might actually be scary. I mean, it might go back to being scary.
You know what might be scary? Oh, you don't? No,
you didn't think that through, did you? You were totally going to say something, but you couldn't think of something. Good call.
It was good. It was good. You see how I bailed out of that?
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
But yes, I don't expect to be scared by BioShock Infinite in any way. But there are rare games that really grab you. I mean, was any Silent Hill game all that great after Silent Hill 2?
No.
I mean, they just
actually I wouldn't know because I've only played 1, 2, and 5.
Oh. From what I understand, they get
because 1 and 2 were so fucking good.
Clive Barker's Undying. You played that, didn't you?
I played Undying, and it was a little scary, but that's only because when it came out, I was kind of young.
What was the game that I was playing? Deadly Premonition, man. Deadly Premonition. That game is scary as shit. It's scary how bad it is.
Yeah.
But
people say it gets better.
Yeah.
And, we kind of put our series to the side. Because you had a whole shit ton of work to do for a long time, and now I'm addicted to Final Fantasy.
And I'm joyfully taking care of a lot of games that I'm really far behind on, leading us to our next game.
Yes,
which we already started talking about, but then we got sidetracked.
Which I've talked about before on an earlier show.
Yeah.
But now that you've played it,
we get that other perspective, I suppose.
Yeah.
So we sidetracked when I talked about BioShock.
I don't think that
I asked if David had a copy of BioShock Infinite to play. He said no, and I said, oh well, all right, that sucks.
And then you turned around to walk away.
Yeah, I went in, I sat down.
And I was like, whoa, bro.
I sat down, and he came in.
Chill it out for a second.
Came into the room, and he's like, hey, why don't you play this game? And he put down Remember Me, and I was like, maybe.
And you know why I did that? Because I think that's the only game I own that you don't also own or have already played.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, there's a lot of Dragon Age, a lot of Battlefield, a lot of... you haven't played Halo, I guess.
Yeah, I haven't played Halo 4 because...
But I think everything else that I have, you've played.
Yeah, they're games that we play together, actually, most of them. So...
BioShock, all right.
It's true.
Scary.
So I waited a couple days because I was playing the play both these DLC stuff. So when I got annoyed with that, I decided I would play Remember Me, which actually was yesterday.
Yeah.
It started yesterday. And, you know...
Now, I know you're not as big of a Cyberpunk fan as I am.
Well, I mean...
But you like it.
I like it, yeah.
So...
You know, it feels like it's basically like... if Johnny Mnemonic didn't suck balls, it would be like this game.
I'm really sad about Johnny Mnemonic sucking balls, too, because it's a William Gibson thing, and I'm a William Gibson fan.
Look, there's a lot of things I like about Johnny Mnemonic.
Keanu Reeves had one of them. He's the only reason that the movie wasn't good.
Henry Rollins.
Henry Rollins was awesome.
Ice-T.
Ice-T was awesome.
Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren was... What?
He was the priest. The priest.
Oh, that's right. It's been a long time since I've seen the movie.
Dina Meyer, who is the chick.
Yeah.
Who dies and everything. She's in Dizzy from Starship Troopers.
Yes. Saw her boobs and saw Starship Troopers.
They were not all that impressive.
That's not the point. They were there. But yeah, I think that Keanu Reeves is the only thing that was wrong with that movie. I guess the story was kind of slow, but it's because it was based on a book that was slow.
Fair enough. The game's good. It's interesting to me because it feels like a weird blend of games.
Yeah.
Where, for one, I see a lot of similarities between that game and Flashback.
Right.
Thematically.
Because Flashback is a cyberpunk style game. Yeah.
Right, where you're trying to find, and especially the remake of Flashback,
the memory.
Trying to find chunks of memory and shit like that. So it's a little bit weird because it's a lot of like low impact exploration and platforming in that regard. Limited platforming.
There's a lot more later on,
but not like platforming in a traditional.
Right, it's not like jumping onto. It's not Mario Brothers.
Right,
but yeah, it's climbing like
Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed or something. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. There's a lot of that, and then it's like you get into a big open area, and they're like, cover your eyes for a second, and you cover your eyes, and then when you take your hands off your eyes, you're playing Arkham Asylum
with 20 dudes on screen that you're
like,
jumping back and forth.
And they're attacking you, and you're flipping over their shoulder and punching and flipping and punching and flipping.
And the combat is pretty much set up exactly the same way.
Punch when you do the thing.
Yeah.
You know, they press the left trigger and they do the thing. Mm-hmm. What's it called? Pressing?
Pressings, yeah.
You do that thing. So the combat's a little bit uninspired.
You get some really cool ones later, though.
Okay, all right.
Like taking control of mechanical enemies and things like that.
But it has. I'm playing on normal,
right?
As I do.
I played on normal first too. I think.
Yeah, and as yet, nothing has really posed a challenge. Like maybe I'll die.
The part you're coming up on.
Maybe there's 2 or 3 things that I die like in like a big group of dudes, like fighting a big group, and I'll die. Like this, where I was at
with the invisible dudes.
I was down to the last guy. The last guy.
The last guy.
And I died.
Yeah.
It was terrible. But you know, I fought. What's his name? Christmas. Something.
Dude, I haven't played it since it first came out. I don't remember.
Fucking Christmas. His name, his vest says Xmas on the back.
Oh yeah, it's the TV star guy.
Right.
Yeah.
And I kicked his ass first try.
So that means you've done your first memory remix already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, doing the memory remix was
coolest
pretty
part
good.
about the game, but there's not very many of them.
Really. Okay.
And one of them is a repeat.
I accidentally stumbled upon an achievement for
killing.
No, you're supposed to kill him. Oh no, I did. I killed her. I fucked it up, and then I did one where I made David talk to her.
Yeah, and that's
which was an achievement.
There's an achievement like that for each memory remix to do something that you're not supposed to do.
Right. So I got that by accident because it's kind of interesting where you have to like rewind and fast forward, and you look for glitch points, and you can activate or deactivate glitch points, and some of them. You're basically looking for the right combination of glitch points to.
Some of them are even pointless. Like they don't do anything.
Right.
Like you'll change it and it's like.
Like taking the hand strap off when the guy with her husband David. You untie it, like you take the restraint off of his right hand.
Right.
It doesn't seem to make any difference at all. But I did it every fucking time.
Right.
but I mean, I encountered in that memory remix, I think, 5 or 6 glitches that you could adjust, and I think I ended up doing 4 to actually get it to work.
Right.
And it's so, you know, you're fast forwarding or rewinding and fast forward and rewinding, and you're looking for these little graphical glitches, pixelated glitches to make these minor changes, and you know, affect the person's memory of things. It's a pretty cool and interesting little mini game.
Right.
Shockingly, you didn't bring it up in our mini games.
Because I don't know if I would really call it a mini game. I mean, it's part of the game. It's not a distraction.
The game feels miniature in its game.
All right. You said it was a good size.
It is a good size. The mini game. But yeah, it's interesting. I like the look of the game. I'm having the same problem that I have with a lot of these cyberpunk games, though. It's a really like serious problem that's really like infuriating. Why the fuck don't people look as cool as they do in cyberpunk games?
What do you mean?
Like, why isn't like modern fashion like caught up with cyberpunk?
It's a good question, man. Because I would totally have some Shadowrun hair. I kind of do have.
Yeah, you kind of do. But I mean, you know, like
with the half shirts
and
and
she's got the
half
the
jackets.
leather, like the fucking tech sleeve and the boots and there's all kinds of good things going on. I feel like we should have nano skins and fucking like.
Do you want to start a fashion company, John?
I might.
VirtualBromance fashion.
It's all cyberpunk gear. It's like braided extensions with beads in them and shit for one side of your head. You're not allowed to buy sets of 2. It only has 1.
Right.
Sunglasses that are like a little band, really skinny.
A jacket that looks like it's only half a jacket, like it's missing the bottom half.
Fuck yeah. But I like the game. It's really, really good. I'm pretty happy about it. I'm glad that you suggested I play it. You had said when you first played it that you thought I would really like it. But the combo dodge.
Right.
Combo.
And remember
that kind of combat just doesn't do it for me.
When
That's
I first talked
I
about
haven't
it,
finished Arkham City yet. It's because of that.
When I first talked about Remember Me, I don't know, several shows ago, I said the only thing I didn't like about it was the monotony of the combat.
Right.
So, and even as you unlock more shit, it's still the same shit. You find your combo, and your combo's the combo. For
I
the
think
rest of
that the game is unique and enjoyable and interesting enough that it could have carried itself without that combat.
Yeah.
Like just on the exploration alone, I think it could have carried it, and would have been more brain teaser-ish in its challenge, along the lines of like say like Myst, like the way that Myst was when
I would have wanted it that way though.
The way that Myst was like back in the day, like when it was the only dog in the race,
right?
When it was like a explore this island and fucking solve puzzles kind of game, it could have been this generation's Myst.
Oh, right.
It
had a lot of potential. I agree.
For just exploration and puzzle unraveling. I mean, they could have put more of those memory remixes in, and
that's what everybody's said on forums and things. It's like that's the best part of the game, and you only do it like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So overall, the game's good. I'm enjoying it so far, and I'm gonna obviously continue playing it. They do hand out the achievements pretty frequently, which is pretty good.
Yeah,
they're like lots of 10-pointers, which for me, like if I'm playing on Xbox, achievements are like getting high fives.
I bet I got a Steam alert.
Yeah,
telling me that the show was about to start.
Yeah, you did. For me, achievements on Xbox Live are like high fives while I'm playing the game. It's basically like the Xbox is saying, "Hey, bro, good job.
Yeah,
way to go. You took care of that thing."
Yep.
Which is actually one of the struggles with replaying games because I don't get any high fives.
I've had lots of high fives on Xbox Live.
You've had a lot of high fives. It's true.
121,000 of them.
I get a decent amount of high fives. I'm in the high 40,000s. That's a decent amount of high fives.
It's pretty alright.
But I mean, there's nothing so gratifying as a high five. You know, like it really, for such a simple little
I don't
thing.
know. I like blowjobs. And
You're thinking in the wrong kind
a
of
lot
context.
more gratifying
I would say
than a
that.
high five.
I would say that.
Were someone to ask me, would you?
I think you're thinking in a different context, though. I think that the only thing, like in the same context as a high five, that beats a high five is a basketball chest bump.
Nah, I suppose.
So maybe like the big achievements, like the, hey bro, you just finished the game on hard mode. Those are like a basketball chest bump.
All right.
That's just me. All right, so yeah. So we're at an hour.
We are at an hour. Well, sort of. We're at like 58 minutes.
So
We started late, a couple minutes late.
yeah, all
I
right.
had to have a cigarette.
Okay.
Talk about the show.
So I think that we talked about a top five, David.
Yeah, why don't you introduce this top five?
So over the weeks,
Maybe two so far.
over all of the weeks, over the 18 weeks,
Oh.
we've developed this system where we spend every week we put together a top five last minute, and every week we go, son of a bitch. Maybe there's two times that
There
we
were a
didn't.
couple times where
There's two times-
it was premeditated.
Right. But other than those two times we go, son of a bitch, we should have put together the top five before the fucking show. Well, in light of recent events, this is 2 weeks now. 2 weeks in a row that I have been the meat of the content on the show. Because somebody...
Yeah, well, let's look at
Hey,
like 14 weeks before that.
I played some games in there.
All right.
Somebody's developed a pretty serious addiction. To the point that I remember a discussion was had about, hey, you should play the DLC for
Nobody can see that.
for Lords of Shadow. Oh, yeah, I got a copy of
And
it.
what did I say? When did I say I was going to play that?
I don't know.
During maintenance.
Oh, Jesus.
There hasn't been any like big maintenance.
Or
since then.
or someone also had said, hey, you were like two DLCs behind on Mass Effect 3. Here's my collector's edition. Maybe you should play those real quick.
Because I let Tony borrow mine and then he moved to Seattle.
And these things are sitting on the shelf here.
Literally within arm's reach.
Within arm's reach, with dust accumulating on them. And the point is that I want, for a top five tonight, I want to know the top five of top fives. I want to know the top five things that you have lost from your life because of Final Fantasy XIV.
All right. First of all, I have.
Whoa.
What?
I need another drink.
Well, what are you gonna do about that?
You should explain to them how your addiction here. I'm gonna go get a drink. I'll be right back.
What?
You, Lucy, you got some explaining to do.
All right. So, top five things that I have lost from my life because I'm too busy playing Final Fantasy XIV. Let's see. First of all, I haven't played another game since the game actually released. So I'm a little bit behind on games. I don't think there's anything coming out. There hasn't been anything coming out lately that has really been worthwhile. So I don't think that that's that important. To be honest, that's the only one. I mean, I went out last night. I don't stick around at work after work anymore. When I get off work to like have a drink or whatever, because as some of you know, John and I both work at bars. Not the same bar anymore, but bars. And I don't stick around at work anymore to have a drink.
So, did you start your list already?
Yeah, this is number 2.
Well, what was the first one?
The first one was not playing any other games.
Okay, that's good.
But I justified that by the fact that there hasn't really been anything else coming out. See, this is the problem with making me do this top 5 is I'm going to justify each one of them. Except for the one I just said. There's really no justification for that.
Right.
Rent was late by a day.
Why was that?
I just didn't feel like driving over there.
Oh, you didn't want to walk away from the game to go pay your rent on
I
time.
don't know if it was quite that, but that was part of it. Yeah.
Ooh.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm really hard pressed to find 5 things that actually have changed because of this. Because the most important one was that I stopped playing other games, and that happened with Final Fantasy XI too. And I said that I would never do this again, and here I am doing it again.
Wow.
We don't hang out as much anymore. I know a lot of times
I'm really far away, dude.
A lot of yeah, like 10 feet. A lot of times you'll pop around the corner and I'll be sitting there with my headphones on playing, and I'll look up and be like, "Sup?" and you'll be like, "Sup?" and then that's the extent of the conversation.
Well, the problem is that I don't know if you could hear me at all. Like, I don't want to walk in here and be like, "So, dude, totally check this thing out. It was awesome," and then you go, "Wait, what?" I'd be like, "Fuck it, never mind."
You don't have to worry about that because remember, I keep the game volume down because I'm always recording.
Oh, all right.
So you can't hear me over the game volume if I don't turn it down.
Okay.
That's 3. I don't really have 2 more, man. Help me out here. You outside
Could
looking
you have been
in.
working more shifts?
Yeah, I have.
No, could you have been?
No,
Okay.
I actually have been
Okay. I don't know. I'm not there. I don't
because
know.
I never say no when they ask me if I can help out.
Bitches.
That really hasn't changed.
Really? I did your dishes today.
My dish,
Hey, it was sitting here. I had my daughter
but
come
it
in
was
and get
one
it.
dish,
I had my daughter come in and get it, and I washed
and
it.
that's not because of. All right, number 5. Number 5 is actually an anti number on the list. I've been saving a lot of money.
What is the monthly subscription fee for Final
It's
Fantasy
like
XIV?
$14, something like that.
Really? Final Fantasy XIV is $14.
Well, it's like $14.99, so $15. I don't know. There's 2 different subscription models. We haven't had to start paying yet because we get a free month or a free couple weeks or whatever. So I don't really fucking know what it is. And speaking of, the bank better get my shit sorted out, or I'm not going to be able to play.
Wait, what happened?
My card's expired. They haven't sent me a new one.
Oh, it's because you moved. They probably sent it to the
No,
old
I
address.
asked Wendy, and she said it hasn't come yet.
Remember, they come in a blank envelope.
She gives me all the mail.
Well, you can go. You have to go to the bank. This happened to me.
Yeah,
one
I'm
night.
gonna go tomorrow.
This happened to me. I had to get on the phone and we have the same bank, so I had to get on the phone and like yell at them.
Yeah.
Because they're like, "Well, can't you
Actually,
Can't you call your old address?" And I was like, "No, actually, I can't call my fucking old address. Thanks for asking."
Yeah, but anyway, that's 4 plus 1 anti.
David, what are we gonna do about this?
Nothing. I'm gonna play as soon as we fucking kill this show.
I thought we were gonna take some Battlefield 3 time. Not tonight.
No, you gotta get premium first. It's only $20 or $30. Is it $30?
You've been saving so much money. You should buy me premium.
Jim was supposed to buy it for you so that Jared would buy you Battlefield 4. That was the agreement.
Really?
Remember that? That was
No.
like 6 months ago. We talked. Well, it wasn't 6 months ago, but it was.
Can she gift it through Origin?
I don't know. Probably.
Hey, people in the chat, can you gift things through Origin
I
the
think
way
when
that
you,
you can
when
on
you
Steam?
buy something in Origin, you put a code in, don't you?
I'm not sure.
Fuck, I have 2 games in Origin that I actually bought other than the Humble Bundle stuff. And in the Humble Bundle...
Ooh! Before we wrap up, let's talk about that fucking video we saw last week for Dragon Age Inquisition.
Oh,
Holy
dude! How did we skip
game
that?
looked fucking good.
How did we skip that?
Holy shit! I can't believe I missed
Alright, this
this.
is the first for VirtualBromance Live. We're going to talk about something after the top 5.
All right. So they released at PAX Prime last week a gameplay video for fucking Final Fantasy, son of a bitch, for Dragon Age Inquisition. I had explained to David that one of the first things that they talked about when they started developing Dragon Age Inquisition was the...
Hold on. I want to point out that the segment at the beginning of the show was just a dramatization. I, in fact, love my addiction to Final Fantasy XIV.
So, one of the things that they talked about in the initial development of son of a bitch, I keep doing this. I don't even play that fucking game. Dragon Age Inquisition was they were looking at,
Final
fan
Fantasy.
feedback, and they were getting response that people were unhappy about not just the fact that you couldn't change the armor and stuff for your companion characters, but that the armor designs were fairly limited in Dragon Age 2. So, whereas they had like something like 20-some armor models that were repainted and reshuffled or whatever in Dragon Age 2, for Inquisition, they basically said from the onset that they are working with something like 70-some, 76, 78 armor models.
Right.
And they're talking about having supporting characters customizable armor again, like they had in Dragon Age Origins, which is fantastic. I mean, there was a lot of stuff. Like Dragon Age Origins was a beautifully done game. It was amazing. I can't believe that I happened into the blind luck of pre-ordering it like I did. Like I don't know why I did it.
See? While you were talking, I was like, Final Fantasy. Just to see if you would say it again instead of Dragon Age.
So, Dragon Age Origins was great. Dragon Age 2...
It was good.
It was
Fuck
good.
You.
But
it was good.
It
just wasn't...
It wasn't as good as
It had
Origins.
several problems.
Right. Limited...
repeating dungeons.
Right. Very small-scale environment. They really shrunk the world down. The variety
I was okay with that.
But the variety of settings was...
Because the story takes place in a city.
Right. And
Obviously, that's going to be the only area you go to.
However, they decided to recycle dungeons and shit like that.
That was a bad idea.
Which was a bad plan. And they made they took away the ability to change the armor on your party members.
Also
which was
a bad idea. They also took away the ability to choose your starting race and make your actual own character.
A bad idea again.
Bad idea.
All of these things have been remedied with Dragon Age Inquisition.
And it looks so fucking cool.
That's the Frostbite 2 engine.
I know!
For one. Frostbite 2
Look.
engine, holy shit.
DICE should do more like licensing out Frostbite because I think they would make a shit ton of money.
This gameplay video, you see the controllable character running in a desert battlefield with broken buildings and plants and shit as far as the eye can see.
A dragon flies by.
And the fucking dragon is swooping down and landing and attacking and moving around. The scale of the battlefield alone was impressive.
Right.
The detail to the landscape was breathtaking. The movement of the character seemed fucking natural. It looked comparable to cutscene quality.
Yeah, it was fucking badass.
And the flow of the graphical flow was pristine. Obviously,
clearly the video was
it's
a
a
next
PC
gen.
version,
Or a PC.
right?
Yeah.
But
it's going to be on an Xbox.
holy
You know,
shit!
the
Yeah,
current
it's going
gen
to be
as well.
PS3, 360, Xbox One, PS4, PC.
We're clearly probably going
Holy
to get it on the
fucking
Xbox
shit!
One.
Well, it depends. I mean, it comes out next fall, so probably by then I'll have an Xbox One, and I'll probably get it that way. But that game, from that, like I had been very loosely following the news on Dragon Age Inquisition since they announced it.
And they didn't show it at E3.
Right. Which is one of the things I think we talked about.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, we were upset
that was
about that.
an unannounced thing. Loosely following it, but not getting really excited about it. I was still sitting on the next gen consoles talking about games like Metal Gear 5, which
Dude,
the more they
don't
release,
get us started
the
with Metal
more
Gear
shit
5.
that they tell us about Metal Gear 5, holy fucking shit.
Right.
It sounds like Ground Zeroes will function in relation to the Phantom Pain in much the same way that the Tanker episode functioned, in the same way in relation to the Big Shell episode of Metal Gear 2. On the same disc, 2 chunks with the same game.
Right.
But I was mostly focused on Metal Gear 5, Titanfall, Xenoblade 2, whatever the actual title is going to be. Like, those are the...
And there's a couple games that I'm more excited about
But-
than
and-
you. Like The
oh.
Division,
Lords of Shadow 2.
Lords of Shadow 2, Dark Souls 2.
Yeah, there's...
You haven't played any like Demon
No.
Souls or Dark Souls or anything like that?
But, I mean, But all of this other stuff had really come to the forefront in sort of response to the fact that BioWare had said nothing about Dragon Age Inquisition, and all they did was release one video, and I'm all in.
Yep.
I'm balls.
I mean,
I'm balls in.
As soon as I heard the game was released, I was already in.
Yeah.
Regardless of how
Right, but I got
was received or not.
like phenomenally
because I
excited
love the
once
Dragon
I saw
Age
that
story.
gameplay video. It was
great.
fucking amazing.
I love BioWare. I'm just throwing that out there.
Right.
Thanks, BioWare, for being awesome.
BioWare, I'm never gonna pick a fight with you.
Better not.
Even I love Gearbox, and I still picked a fight with Randy Pitchford.
That's because you fucked up one of your favorite franchises. Well, he didn't do it, but you know what I mean.
Which, the sad truth is, Colonial Marines is going to get a sequel. Because
But they'll fix it,
right,
and it'll be awesome.
Even if everybody hates the game, it sold a shitload of copies. It's
Right.
going to get a sequel.
But this time around, they'll fix it.
Maybe. We'll see.
Look, why don't we wrap this shit up? I need to get back to Final Fantasy 14.
This fucking guy. All right. Well, gang, thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching the show. We had a great chat with the. We had great interaction with the chat tonight.
Yes.
I'm gonna make sure that I schedule another fucking Steam event for next week.
All right.
If you've got friends that you want to invite to the Steam group, do it. The more the merrier. I made a new logo just for the Steam group.
Did you?
You should look at it. It's really nice.
I'm going to look at it.
It's the one that I'm going to use for the
My arm's
T-shirts.
going to get tired if you don't get to this shit quick.
Where David's pointing right now, that is our Facebook page. There is our YouTube page. Facebook, you should like it and then get involved, share things as we post them, whatever.
Yeah, just don't post pictures of your dick or anything like that because Facebook will take it down.
True. All right, YouTube, like, subscribe, favorite, share the shit
Also,
out
we
of
don't
it.
want to see it.
Yeah, all that stuff is cool. Twitter, you can fucking follow us there. It's badass. You'll find out about anything that we're talking about or anything that we're doing. Get your hand off my
I know, that's why I was like, I don't know if I should go to this
And down
next
there
one.
is the band that David and I are both in, which is AmPsych. We're on WT2 Records,
Sure.
based out of Chicago. We are in Milwaukee, as you may or may not know.
I don't think
The
many
point
of them
is that the band is really, really great industrial rock. You can purchase our EP on iTunes or Amazon or whatever. And then someday,
Someday for the last 3 years.
we will finish the LP. And it'll be
Yes.
one of the last things that Dan Clark produces.
It's good to know.
So, there you go. But that is our show for the night. I'm going to pound this drink. I'm going to have a cigarette. And I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah. I am not going to pound that drink. I'm going to go get myself another beer, have a cigarette with you, and then when I come back, you guys, if you're interested, switch over to twitch.tv/The Restless Corpse, and I'm going to be playing Final Fantasy 14.
I'm just going to go smoke crack.
Awkward.